This is our YFS, Raise Your Fucking Standards, for August 12th, 2025. So, had a role play today with a few of the other people in the Wolves program. Some really good points, some really fucking good points that I'm gonna share here. The first one, and this was actually in the script, something I should have taken note of, but with the whole process, the approval for the Americo product, it's actually 2 to 3 business days. It's not immediate, unlike some other ones. I think ESOS. Long story short, that's point one. A really good example, and this was actually what one of these people, he already had this literal physical example happen today, and so he shared it with us while we were role playing. And literally the client told him, the client said, so I already got a quote from Lincoln Heritage, and I'll think about it in regards to changing to a different policy, in this case with Americo, with whomever we're selling, right? And his response, a super good response, or at least the response he wanted to say, he didn't mention whether or not he said it, but the point is, his response was, well, so-and-so, what was the main thing you were thinking about on this other policy? What was that point of hesitation, so to speak? Because that policy's weak point is your fucking advantage, right? So if you can figure out if that's policy's price, if it's coverage, if it's whatever its weak point is, that you can overcome with the policy that you're selling, that's literally your advantage. You've now know how to sell this prospect and how to add value to them. Again, always go back to adding value. Your job isn't to sell the person, your job is to add value. They're gonna throw you the money at you if you can do that. All right, next thing. And this is just a general thing. I've already written about this in my notes before, but let's say you get the "can I call you later" objection, right? So in most instances, it's most likely a price objection. However, still ask, is it the price? What is your main point of hesitation there? So, and then following to that, if it is a price objection, when you're quoting, make sure you're starting your quotes at a price lower than that other company, Lincoln Heritage, whoever the fuck, you know? So if it's a price objection, just the quotes you're listing off, make them cost less with the same amount of coverage. And obviously it has to be the same amount of coverage, otherwise they're not going to want it, you know? So obviously that not all scenarios that's able to happen, but the right thing to do is to try. That's how you get the fucking sale. Then the next thing, this is more of a behavioral type thing. When people are mentioning their family members that would have to go through covering final expenses, God forbid something happened, right? Have empathetic follow-ups. For example, yeah, so my daughter Mary, she'd probably have to, if not drop out of school, take a lot less time on her studies and work some jobs to save up for these final expenses. Your response should be something like, oh, wow, so Mary would have to potentially just really diminish her emphasis on school. And how would that make you feel, so-and-so? So, I mean, that's probably not the best response. Could have been better. However, the point is, have empathetic follow-ups so that they feel that you give a shit, because you have to give a shit. If you don't give a shit, why the fuck are you in this business? All right. Another objection. Yeah, so I'd like to talk to my wife, daughter, etc. Pretty common one, right? And a good way to respond to that is something along the lines of, well, so and so, what if your wife, daughter, etc., what if they're with you right now? And what if they said no to this policy? Would you still get this policy for the reasons that you mentioned before? And this is assuming you'd told them that, well, not you told them, but more they told you the reasons for why they want this policy, right? So, I mean, it all goes back to setting the frame where they have a problem. Regardless of whatever their spouse, daughter, whoever the fuck says, they need to solve that fucking problem. The way to do that is through this policy, through what it has to offer. So even if their significant other child says no to getting this policy now, they already have a pretty strong reason for why they should get it now. This is not the only kind of way to respond to this objection, but it's a damn good one. I'll tell you that. So definitely use that. And then, and this was another example that actually happened today or something along those lines. So if they already have something in place, and this is kind of going back of what I already said earlier, if they already have something in place, just go back into the quoting, or more to say, go straight into the quoting. And when you do that, you can just give them a good competitive option. Obviously, it depends on the carriers you're working with, but with the ones we're with, pretty high fucking probability of that happening. So just go straight into the quoting, skip some of the other stuff, especially if they're short on time, because a lot of them are going to say, I don't have much time, I'm grocery shopping, whatever the fuck, right? So that's that. Now, next part. And this is more technical for when the actual calls begin. So when I'm going to start the calls last week of August, pretty fucking soon, there's 3 things that need to be up. It's going to be the insurance toolkit, it's going to be the our main carrier's agent portal login that's going to allow us to do the quoting, and then the dialer from a certain company pulled up. Those are the 3 main things that are needed, right? I'm just telling this for a technical perspective. Okay. And then just a general solid note to end off this RYFS is, and even though I haven't started hitting the phones for real yet, and I know I'm going to, and this is why. This is exactly fucking why. Your commission in this game is a direct reflection of your self-belief, your consistency, and your speed. Combine those 3 things, you are unstoppable. So if you want to be fucking rich, and if you want to join the 1%, you got to learn how to fucking win in sales. Because those 3 things, self-belief is the foundation. You build the tower off of that. Consistency ensures that the tower is built every single day, even if it's minute progress or explosive progress. Every single day you're building that tower. And speed. You don't build that tower fast. Someone else is gonna buy rooms in a different tower. So that's my spiel for today. Yeah. I'd say if you want to win in the game of life, put yourself in a position where your income, your literal income, is dependent on what you put in. And those 3 things reflect directly onto the commission that you make in this game, which is why I'm immensely grateful. Yes, that makes it more difficult than a 9-to-5, no shit, but in the long term, it's worth the price immensely. You look back in a few years when you're a millionaire, It's worth it. So let's fucking get it.